Doing our initial indoor micro aquaponics test. That's a USB power supply there, which is basically powering the pump, the submerged pump. Can't really tell there, but you can kind of see there. In the little fish tank with just a few guppies and suckerfish. Little wire mess here, tube mess there. That's oxygen machine, which I don't got turned on right now. So but I'm just running this pump from USB, as you just saw, and I'm doing a test right now and letting it fill and see if it auto siphons with the flow rate automatically or not. That's the test. So obviously that's not going to be able to be determined until we get to the fill line up there, which is the top of that elbow, that PVC elbow. So as soon as the water level reaches that point, it'll dump out through the out spout and ultimately back into the fish tank. And so what we're trying to test now is if the flow rate is strong enough to set off that siphon, and it'll automatically ebb and fill. So stay tuned. Just to show you real quick, the flow rate, it's not that strong at all. That pump's not so powerful. It's only USB 5 volts. So yeah, that's what I really want to know, if it's strong enough to set off the siphon or if it's just going to be at a fixed water level. Either way, it'll have to work. Without it setting off the siphon and the gravity drain, if it's just draining at a set water flow rate, then it means I'll probably most likely have to enter a bubble stone in here into this area if the water level will only be that high, just to keep the water oxygenated. We'll have to see with more exams, with more tests. So hold on, stay tuned until we get to that water level. While we're waiting for the water to fill, I just wanted to come check over here, make sure there's no proper leaks. Use some Teflon tape over there just to seal that area. There's no glue in any of this. Just one rubber O-ring as a seal on the outside there. That seems to be holding good. And no major leaks. The Teflon tape seems to be holding up, but I guess we'll know more once the flow rate comes, once it drains. But as you can see, we're already getting a lower water level, which for the point of this test, it's not too much of an issue. It'll get about halfway before it fills up. However, once we have grow media and plants in here, it'll require less water to fill, and therefore it will drain the tank less so, as the idea is. So any minute now, or any second, probably the next 20-30 seconds, it's going to reach the threshold tipping point, the drain level. So once that starts, the water will slowly start to exit out here. If there's enough back pressure and the flow rate is just strong enough, it should activate that siphon. Should is the key word, but you need a strong flow rate, and I'm afraid that's not that strong, but I guess we'll know any moment now. So give it another 20 or 30 seconds and we will see that water flow. So any second now. Man, it's drained it about at least halfway currently. So obviously we'll need some grow media and plants in there to counter that and reduce the amount of water needed to fill the grow bed. So any second now. Yep, it's about there. It's right about there. So it just needs to fill just enough to exit out. Obviously when I was looking at for leaks, I didn't realize that the water flow, there was no water flowing out of it, so therefore it wasn't a proper test whether it's leaking or not. But we'll know soon enough. Soon enough we'll know. Earlier I said about another 10-20 seconds, more like a minute was correct. Oh, there we go. And here is the initial drainage. Doesn't look very strong, so I'm skeptical whether it's enough to activate the siphon. The gravity. So yeah, it's definitely